What did you make of the New York Post? The headline, they had the front of the cover was about something else. And then there was a little line at the bottom that read, Florida man makes announcement. The story about the announcement is deep inside on page 26. And I'm going to read it for the audience because it really says something. It's just a singular column on the left side of the page called Been There, Done That. With just 720 days to go before the next election, a Florida retiree made the surprise announcement Tuesday night that he was running for president. In a move no political pundit saw coming, avid golfer Donald J. Trump kicked things off at Mar-a-Lago, his resort and classified documents library. Trump, famous for gold-plated lobbies and for firing people on reality television, will be 78 in 2024. If elected, Trump would tie Joe Biden as the oldest president to take office. His cholesterol levels are unknown, but his favorite food is a charred steak with ketchup. He has stated that his qualifications for office include being a, quote, stable genius. Trump also served as the 45th president. The author was Post staff. Wow. Wow.
Megyn is a mutual friend of ours, likes to always say, no such thing as conspiracies, but also no such thing as coincidences. Clearly, there's been an order, the vertical integration of here's what you're supposed to write that's been delivered, and we're seeing that in the Post. There are a lot of really fine journalists who are at the Post, a lot of really good columnists who I really like. But if you go in the time machine just about 2-3 months back, the Post was tripping over themselves to praise President Trump. And now the switch to basically trying to cut into the daily news space, I don't think that's going to work well. Curious what it'll do with their readership base. But it's too much of a flip-flop in such a short amount of time. I don't think most people are going to buy it.
What do you make of that, MBD? It was fascinating to see the Post really coming down on him. And the Journal's been unkind too, notwithstanding what Jason says about today. Clearly, and there's also a report out that Rupert Murdoch has given the word directly to Trump, don't run again. We don't want it. We won't back it. And actually, if you run again, if it's against anyone other than Joe Biden, we might actually back the Democrat. If you run and the nominee on the other side is Joe Biden, we might just stay neutral. But in no event will we be supporting you. He, of course, owns Fox News. He owns the Journal. He owns the New York Post. He owns, HarperCollins Publishing and so on.
No, I think Rupert Murdoch has tremendous influence. We're seeing it now. I think it's an open question for a lot of media outlets. There was something very surreal about the way Fox News covered the speech last night. I was watching the speech, and like you, Megyn, I was saying this is not the best material, and it's kind of like looking over Twitter to see what the reaction was. And suddenly, before the speech was even over, Fox was, Sean Hannity was cutting to Mike Huckabee, and Mike Huckabee was saying, if Donald Trump sticks with this message, he's unstoppable. And then he's cutting to other commentators who are saying, like, this is the greatest message. This is what he has to stick with. Basically a kind of commentary saying, don't talk about the 2020 election, talk about Joe Biden's record. But the speech was still going on in a corner of the screen.
Yes.
And, there was a kind of, like I said, there was a surreal quality where they're saying, this is the most amazing speech, but we're not showing it to you in certain sections.
It was bizarre. I was like, where do I find it? I found it finally on Newsmax. I'm like, I'm awake. I want to hear what he has to say. Newsmax took the whole thing. But yeah, it was strange. And I will tell you, this is a rule of Britt Humes that I learned from him young in my career. Never put a little box of a talking head on the screen while the anchor is on the screen talking with another guest, because it only leads the audience to be like, well, what's that little box saying? Why are they showing me that little box? If you're showing me the box, let me hear the box. It's annoying. Clearly, there had been an order on high for him to do that. I just can't imagine a world in which Hannity voluntarily cut away from Trump mid-speech.
But also, and it continued on in the next hour. Then suddenly Laura Ingraham is giving highlights of earlier in the speech while the speech hasn't concluded yet. Like, we're already nostalgic for the speech that hasn't finished. And then, so Fox News's coverage was odd, but of course, I think one of the biggest, because we're basically doing it over again. We're going to do everything like it was in 2016, but knowing how 2016 played out. And so the other thing is, in 2015 and 2016, Jeff Zucker at CNN made the very deliberate decision of we're carrying Trump's rallies end to end, right? From beginning to finish, most of them. That put pressure on Fox and even MSNBC to do the same. And I remember running into Lawrence O'Donnell in the back of MSNBC once, and he was livid and basically said, we're going to end up making this guy president just by following what Jeff Zucker is doing. That had a tremendous effect on Trump's campaign. It made him kind of omnipresent feature. It made him the only topic of conversation in news media during the entirety of his campaign. And I don't think they're going to do it again. And I think we saw the evidence of that last night. And that is going to be a huge obstacle that Trump has to overcome, right? That the road is not paved for him the way it was in 2016, right? Because after the election, when he won, a lot of these news executives thought that they were undermining the Republican Party by helping Trump get the nomination and undermining Trump by showing him all the time. They think, oh, he's going to expose himself as a crazy person. And instead, he won narrowly. And afterward, only then did they begin regretting their coverage decisions. But we're already seeing that it's going to be very different field that he's playing on in the next 2 years.
I really wonder what they're going to do because I lived that firsthand. We at the Kelly File watched Trump, and you can see the minute by minute ratings. You can see every 15 minutes how you did, and you can see minute by minute if you ask for it. And you'd see some huge spike in your minute by minutes, and you're like, "What's that?" And you go back and look. Invariably, it was Trump. Trump speaking extemporaneously is like heroin to viewers. At least it was back when he was running the first time. And so it was no surprise to me that CNN wound up taking them wall to wall because they were hemorrhaging viewers. They had nothing interesting going on. They couldn't put numbers on the board. And all you had to do was turn the cameras on the man and sit back and watch. You'd get record numbers. And I remember we at the Kelly File had a long talk behind the scenes about how we would not be doing this for Scott Walker, who is not that exciting on television. We certainly wouldn't be doing it for Hillary Clinton, and we can't do it for Donald Trump as much of the catnip as it might be. We can't, and so we didn't. We treated him the way we treated everybody, but we were not in the majority amongst our friends at Fox or across the media landscape. However, Jason, when he became president and they realized he was powerful, the media changed. They would cut away from him while giving a presidential press conference. The president of the United States, they turn off the cameras and go back to their anchor for some fact check on some COVID line or what have you. But the thing is, the ratings are once again terrible for CNN and MSNBC. And so I really do wonder how they'll handle it now. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a really good question. Short answer is I don't know, but much of the media, and you saw this starting with the Sunday shows and then even going into last night, they're a bit bipolar in how they want to approach it because they don't want to talk about Trump, but then they do want to talk about Trump because he's ratings gold. But then with Joe Biden, there's a bit of a catch there. They don't want to spend a lot of time talking about Joe Biden because they know just how underwhelming he is for the Democratic base. If you saw Anita Dunn on the Sunday shows and her tortured answer about if Joe Biden is going to run again in 2024, and of course, Joe didn't have a very good week, whether it's at COP27, the climate change conference, or at G20 in Colombia and Cambodia. I mean, everyone mixes those two countries up. It happens to the best of us. They can't go out there and say, but we love Joe Biden because, to say he's a fossil is probably kind of being nice to him. So they're in this thing. Do they want to cover President Trump? Do they not want to? Do they want to? But if they cover Joe Biden, do they just kind of fuel the narrative that he's not up for the job in 2024? That's a big question. Where I think they're going to land is they're going to pick or choose. I think if President Trump, if it's forward focused and he's taking it to Biden, I think he's gonna have a pretty good chance of getting picked up. If it's 2020 retrospective grievances, then I think he's going to get a lot less coverage. He'll be less likely to go and pick it up. So I think it's going to be kind of feeling our way around in the dark here as we go forward the next few months.
Carmen in Cedar Rapids, Iowa says, I have struggled to find a product that did not irritate my skin. This is the only one I've been able to use without problems. Not only do I love it, but my skin feels like velvet. Love, love, love it, she writes. From now through Thanksgiving, treat yourself to Genucel's most popular package. That's all their best stuff for 70% off at Genucel.com right now. It is the only skincare products you will ever need. Right now, every one of their most popular packages will include Genucel's hyaluronic acid correcting serum for free. Genucel products delight men and women with inspiring results by correcting your daily skin problems, whether it's wrinkles, dark spots, dry skin, sagging jawlines, facial redness, even those annoying bags and puffiness you sometimes get. And with its immediate effects product, Genucel guarantees results in as little as 12 hours or your money back. Order now at Genucel.com/MK60. Your most popular package also includes a holiday gift set plus free express shipping. That's GENUCEL.com/MK60. Genucel.com/MK60. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.